All right. Good morning. What's going on, Black Speakers Network? We are in the building once again on a beautiful Saturday afternoon or morning, wherever you are. My name, of course, is Brian Oles, president and founder here at Black Speakers Network, where our mission is to equip, connect, and inspire the next generation of Black professional speakers. And we are on Speaker Magazine Saturday, one of my favorite days of the month. We got Pam Perry in the building, Miss Cier
It is
Black.
Black History Month. It is so cool. As you see my blackity black shirt here I got on.
Yes. Hey, me too. We out here. It is Black History Month, and we got a lot to talk about. And as you can see, so first of all, if you're just joining and you're not familiar, obviously, Speakers Magazine, which is produced by Pam and Mark Perry out of Detroit, Michigan. Detroit, Michigan, stand up. We is in its 5th year of publication, and so this is the official magazine of Black Speakers Network. Is a powerful edition. I mean, this might be the blackest issue of Speakers Magazine yet, and obviously a lot to celebrate. And if you check out the cover, if you haven't seen it yet, we're going to be walking through it on this session and doing a deep dive into the cover story, which here we obviously have the amazing author, speaker, activist, and judge Leonia Lloyd, the Honorable Leonia Lloyd. I'm practicing that. Now I'm down to 4 stars. Leonia Lloyd is in the building with us. Thank you so much, Judge Lloyd.
Hi.
So we're going to have a lot of fun. There's the cover that Pam has. And so we're going to be asking her a ton of questions. I see a bunch of people joining us live. So I want to say good morning to Jarita, Edwina, D, Kimberly. I see my man Chris Scott in the building, DeAndre, Kent Wade. And if you're watching a replay, just give us a hashtag replay as we get started. We got Peppy, who's in the running for like Dog of the Year, I think.
Yes.
Something like that.
Tell them where to vote. Pam is such the publicist that she is now on assignment as Peppy's publicist.
I know.
He's going to vote for Peppy.
He's in the top running to be on the cover of Dogster magazine, right? Which is America's favorite pet. So
we got to make it happen.
He's in the top 3.
Oh, great.
Yes. So he's a little mascot for BSN.
Yes.
But that's a sweet niche.
Yeah.
You voted, Judge?
Yeah, a couple times.
Right. You can vote every day. So that's what we need to do.
Right. So we'll see. But yeah, that is just fun. I love doing what I do, even for the dogs.
That's right. That's why she's the OG. You hear me? I love it.
Well, Judge Lloyd, I think obviously, we're going to have a lot of fun. We'll be here for about an hour, but definitely I want to welcome you to Black Speakers Network. And super excited to dive into, your story and everything. Cier has written an amazing cover story, as always. So it is always very cool to see. Pam tells me, but I kind of like to be surprised of who pops up on the cover like each month. And I'm like, wow, you are an amazing company over the last 12 months. And, looking forward to having a chance to talk to you. But first and foremost, how are you feeling today? How's your week going?
My week is going just fine. Every morning I wake up, it's great. Okay.
It's a win.
Well, I had a friend who recently died, and Pam knows, and it's her friend too. So I mean that, so things are not guaranteed in life. So I'm happy. I'm happy this morning.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, it is. I think, right now, I mean, we're still obviously in the midst of a pandemic. It's so many of us are just been reminded like how precious and, to be able to operate in gratitude is an amazing thing right now because, every day is a day to celebrate. So definitely good to see that. Pam, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. It was a great morning, great afternoon, now better afternoon.
Yeah.
Yes. Me too. I was up super early. I know we got the Black Business Matters Expo in this edition of Speakers Magazine as
Yeah,
well.
you know it.
So that's coming up.
I don't miss anything. Yeah.
So I was up early pre-recording some content for that and doing some media promo. So we were getting ready.
There we go.
Yeah.
Black Business Matters. So we got Brian O's on here with ET, also from Michigan, from Detroit, Eric Thomas. There's some other people as well, but the main two that you want to take note of is Brian O's and ET. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we out here. I got a chance to interview David Shands yesterday, and he is incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, February 18th, for those that aren't familiar, it's going to be an awesome event. Cier, how are you doing? You seem very energetic as always.
I'm in that place of gratitude. So every day I wake up, and really, let me tell you, I have the sweetest job. Being able to work with Mark and Pam with Speakers Magazine, and you too, Brian. But I have the task of interviewing the people on the cover. How great is that? I get to sit before fabulous people and hear their story and then share it with everyone else. I tell you, I love this job. I love this assignment that I'm on, and it is just a pleasure to be able to work with Pam and to meet everyone that comes through. So, I'm in good company, but in a good place. I have the best job ever.
Yeah. We got some exciting people lined up for 2021. I kind of told her a little bit of it, but I didn't tell her all of them. But yeah.
Right.
So you were saying that this was the Black issue.
Well, I remember you said that before. It's in the running. I feel like it's in the running, right?
This year get Blacker, because it is really time for the Black speaker to really share their voice. And Judge is like a OG activist, right? Back in the day, you say in college, he was rocking like the little afro and everything,
right?
Style, and it's like we come back to that. Okay, we have come back to that, and
right.
It's
well,
time.
can you tell? Because Pam, you always have an amazing story of how you meet people. So, like, how do you and Judge Lloyd get connected initially? Do y'all go way back like car seats as well, or?
No, not that far. So actually, Judge Leonia is really a legend from the high school that I graduated from. So Cass Tech, which is the school that Diana Ross went to and all that kind of stuff, it has a legacy of like a lot of famous people that went to this school. Well, my best friend, Tawanda Shepard, was in performing arts, and Judge was actually the performing arts teacher. She was an English teacher, performing arts teacher, and so performing arts was big. So she cast Tawanda in the role of Dolly in Hello, Dolly. And I was at that time probably maybe in middle school, I guess was in middle school. And I went to that play, and it was at the DIA, Detroit Institute of Arts, which is really like hoity-toity kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And Judge put on that production. You would have thought we were on Broadway. It was amazing. And so I go to the school the next year, and she goes to law school, right? So I didn't really get to meet her, but that's how I knew of her. And then, of course, everybody in performing arts compared everything to what Judge did, right?
Wow. So, Judge Lloyd, do you remember all that?
Yeah, I definitely remember the play. And Tawanda Shepard. In fact, I told Pam when I was right before I entered law school, I got married, and I'm no longer married to him, but I got married, and I picked her to sing in my wedding because she was just a terrific talent, And Pam is right. The kids at Cass Tech in the performing arts department, they were ready for New York. Okay, period. And I'm not just saying that because I taught some talented kids, but they were super, super talented. And right before I left to go to law school, and we had done another musical, and I decided, hey, one boy said, "Can we take it to the music hall?" And I said, "Music hall?" And I said, "Well, why not?" I always encourage kids to think big, think big. So I had one young lady, I said, okay, I made her my PR person. And I said, you're supposed to be good. Get me a meeting. I said, with David DeChera, I said, and tell him I want to bring my cast there. I want to do 3 songs. I have an idea to do at the music hall. And the little girl came back and she said, this is the date I have. She said, Miss Lloyd. And he said, yes. And we went. Now, I thought my sister was my co-director, and I thought, I know this is not going to happen. They're going to look at these kids and see them as kids and not maybe take them seriously. But that didn't matter. I wanted those kids to have a shot. I wanted them to be on that stage at Music Hall. And the kids sat in back of them listening to them as they were watching them. I sat away from them. And when it finished, they said, Miss Lloyd, can we talk to you in our office? So, of course, I went upstairs and he was like, I love it. I want to do it. I'm going to bring in some big talent, mix in with them. He started naming some big stars. And he said, this is going to be great. And I left on cloud 9. And then my sister, when we got home, she said, Leonia, you have to tell those kids tomorrow. They yes, the dream came true, but you're getting ready to go to law school. You're starting in less than 3 weeks. You're not going to be here. I said, oh. And when I went and I told them, and they were excited that they were really considered now. This is super talent. And but I told them that I couldn't do it, and why. And one young man said, that's okay. You showed us we were good enough. You showed us that we have what it takes. And that's all I need. So, and that made me feel better because I didn't know if they were going to take the kids or not. I felt they were great. I knew they were great. I even had them perform on TV, to advertise. And so it worked because the line outside of coming into the show went around the block.
Wow.
That never happened before. We ran out of tickets. We were giving raffle tickets out. For seats. And the director, my supervisor said, we don't have any more. I said, don't worry, go ahead and give those out. It'll be fine. So yeah, I know what Pam was talking about.
It's legendary in Detroit, man. That was it. So she went on to law school, right? So she has all these careers, and not only does at the same time while you're teaching at Cass, your sister is teaching at doing the same career at the same time. This is unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Are y'all saying cash like the cash money?
CAS, right?
Cass, like Cass. CASS.
Like a cast.
Like CASS.
Cass. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, how cool is it to go to a school named Cash? I'm like, okay, that's amazing. They set y'all up from success for day one. Cash. Okay. Cool.
We felt like it.
Cool. But yeah, no, that's an incredible journey. I think are you still passionate about like the performing arts? I mean, I feel like that's a place that has so much significance, probably more than most people realize as it relates to just everything, youth engagement, being able to give folks like a creative outlet. But is that something that you're still like that you keep a pulse on in terms of the city?
Yeah, that never left me. I mean, when I became a lawyer, we specialized in entertainment law. We looked at the young talent that Berry Gordy had left. There was a vacuum. And Leona and I had decided, after negotiating a contract for Mojo, who was a legendary DJ, I said, let's pick one artist, and let's just put our muscle behind it. And he looked at what we were listening to. He said, yeah, they're good. But wait, I get artists coming to me all the time. And he referred us a group that later came to be known as Ready for the World. And we put our money behind what he said, because he was the first one to play Prince in Michigan. And he pushed Prince, and he pushed The Time, and he pushed Vanity 6. So we knew he had an ear. And even though we sent out their stuff to all the record companies, some of them didn't even open it back. They just sent it back. And so and the little group would come and meet with us, every couple of weeks. And they looked at all the rejection letters. And we said, well, we're going to put your record out. Mojo says it's a hit. We feel it's a hit. We believe in you. We're going to keep our word. And that was the beginning of their career, because it shot up. It shot up. All the radio stations that had gotten the record from our promoter and threw it away, they had to go out and go buy it. And they put it on, and it skyrocketed. And not only did it get to number 1 on Billboard, but and we did a big multi-million-dollar deal with MCA Records for them. But the next record they released off of the album went to number 1, knocked that one down to number 5, and then it crawled back up. Okay, but the big hit was Oh Sheila, and Oh Sheila was one that knocked Prince's Purple Rain down, and it took place to number 1, and that's when they were on Entertainment Tonight. So my interest in music and all of that, it didn't leave. It didn't leave. Me and Leona was still doing that, and then when I became a judge, they called me the rock and roll judge. I had gold records on my wall, and they were like the judge. And sometimes defendants would come up in front of me, and I said, "What do you do for a living? What kind of job do you have?" "Well, I'm a rapper." I said, "Let me see what you got." And they said, I mean, right here, right now. I said, "Right, freeform. Let's see it." I said, "Cut out the nasty words."
You put them into the cipher right away. You just threw
right
them
away,
in
right away. And some of them could boom right on the spot. Others said, "Well, I got to think." I said, "There's a table. Sit down. Get your thoughts together. Give them some paper." I said, "I want to know whether you should keep your day job." Okay. I said, "So let me see what you got." I said, "I know a little something, something." Okay. And so I was a different kind of judge. I even sang on the bench sometimes. If I put you in a box, that means you had a sanction and drug court in my hotel, for about 3 or 4 days.
Yep.
And
yep.
And Nelly had a song. Nelly had a song out called "It's Getting Hot in Here."
He definitely did.
I used to,
Yeah, I know it.
Yes.
Yeah. And I used to sing a couple bars of it. And then I look at my secretary. I said, "Should I keep singing?" She said, "No, Judge. No."
So on your gavel, what was on your gavel on the bench? Now, what did you have on your gavel? Because it's on the cover of the magazine. What was that about?
They called me the Rhinestone Judge too. I had a lot of little names. Okay, a lot of names.
So you had rhinestones on the gavel.
Right. I had rhinestones on the gavel where you hit it at, and on the mallet itself. That was a present to me from my staff for one of my birthdays. And they just called me the Rhinestone Judge. And I had stones on my glasses. I had stones everywhere. And I had a special robe that if I went to a swearing in, it had rhinestones coming down the front and on my cuff. So
that's where
not your ordinary judge. I mean, who would not be like in that courtroom, right?
Right. Even the other judges, we all lined up for, swearing ins for judges and stuff. And they said, "Wow, where did you get that?" I am artistic. And I said, "I did it. I put that on." They said, "No, for real. Where did you get that?" I said,
"No, for real."
I did it. I wasn't going to do it for anybody else. I did it for myself. But that's why.
For some Motown, former Motown acts as well.
Yeah. Eddie and David, we got a chance based upon a friend that, we were little kids. We were, he said, "I pulled your pigtails." And but he was like a personal manager for Eddie and David when they were separated from the Temptations, but they were on their own thing. And he brought them in, and first he said, "They don't trust women." He said, "But I'm going to bring them in." I said, just give us 15 minutes with them. I said, "That's all we need." And they came in, we took them in our conference room. They sat down, they looked at us. And after we got through talking to them, I said, "Now you can go back and think about it and let us know if you want us to represent you or not. If you don't, that's perfectly fine." And they said, "We don't need to think. We want you." And that's how that began. And that's how we negotiated that contract.
Eddie Kendricks and David Ruffin.
Correct.
Those are legends as well. Everybody at that time was trying to be David Ruffin and Eddie Kendricks singing like them in the backyard in the 60s in Motown, right? That was that group. So She has Judge, you've got a lot of interesting things that you write about in the book. And Cier, when she did this interview, you want to tell about this interview that you did?
First of all, I thought Pam was going to kill me. You know, we have a timed interview. This interview went on and on and on and on. I mean, I absolutely loved it. And then at the end, I told Pam, there's so much richness to this. There's so much that could be covered. It was, I have to say, it was probably one of the hardest articles I've written, because you know how everything is golden, everything is good. Usually you talk to someone and, you know, you can find that one or two things out of the, you know, story, but everything was so good that it took me a minute to really capture which story did I want to tell about her. But it was an amazing story. You know, you have to get the book to read the entire story, you know, her story. The magazine does a good job setting the book up. So you must definitely get the book. This is leading you to the book, because we can't simply cover it. I want her to tell a story about Kim, you know, the interaction she had with that, but, you know, we must move on, but there's so much there. So Brian, to answer your question, there is a continuous thread from her teaching that middle school of arts and entertainment to throughout her entire career, her lifestyle, entertainment law, and, you know, just using it still in guiding younger ones. So that thread is still there even to this day. There's so much to cover. So
she still guides Black law students. Because what would you say, Judge?
I couldn't hear you.
You were breaking up a little bit, Pam. But while you come back in, I want to throw the title of the book up that Sierra put up. So that way you could see it, but highly recommend it. Your Honor, A Journey Through Grief and Restorative Justice. And that is just a powerful story. Just even and by the way, the trailer to the book is actually on the cover of Speakers Magazine this month. So if you're on the online issue, you could click, if you hover over her face, you could click on the video and watch the trailer, and it is like powerful. So I'm like, can't wait.
I want to give a shout out to Bob Ivory for doing the trailer. He's also a Detroiter as well, music guy. Loved her story and just really brought it to life. It's very dramatic. You know, of course it fits the dramatic. And the reason why they were the first twins to actually be on the bench at the same time. And they did everything together, like law school, teaching, you know, law firms together, you know, being in the Renaissance together, you know. And so when she suddenly died, it was devastating, because she was she 50? Was she
51?
51, just 51. And when I was reading it in the book, now I knew it, but when I was reading the book, I just felt the crying all over again. It was like, oh my God, because you guys were just sitting on the couch, movie night, and then all of a sudden she kicks you, like, you know, like, what are you kicking me about? But she had fallen out. And she was in distress, and that's when her and her cousin just called 911 and that sort of thing. But she didn't make it. She just, I think, on the way to the hospital, or was it after she was?
She, you know, when I said to her, Leona, why'd you kick me? And her eyes were half masked, and she wasn't answering. And I kept calling her name and she wouldn't answer me. And then I looked and I said, I told my cousin something's wrong. So we both pulled her off the couch onto the floor, and I started doing CPR. Now, Leona and I had taken CPR lessons. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would be using CPR on her. And I'm trying to do CPR. My cousin's calling the 911. So she puts them on speakerphone to make sure I'm doing this right. The ambulance is on the way. You know, this is like all of a sudden, after speaking to a graduation class, you know, at a school, and to all these kids and all their parents, and we come home, and like Pam said, it was movie night. So she's 3 houses down, and I go down there, and we just chit-chatting, and, you know, I'm telling her, shut up. I said, I got to start the movie again. And I started it 3 times. And she said, I'm going to be quiet. This time I'm going to be quiet. And I said, okay. And she was. And then all of a sudden I got a kick and she was gone. gone.
Mm.
And I was in the ambulance and I watched this compression machine go down on her chest. I didn't know what this thing was. It was huge and it was like beating her and beating her. And I'm looking, I said, is she okay? And no one would answer. No one would say anything to me. And they rushed her in. I'm following the stretcher on wheels, and then they closed the door. And I'm pacing and I'm pacing and I'm pacing and I'm praying. What happened? What just happened? We were laughing. What just happened? And when the doctor came out, he looked at me and he said, I'm sorry. Sorry about what? And he said, she's gone. And as he said, her heart never started again.
Mm.
And that could not sink in. What do you mean? My sister's gone. And so when they let me back in there, of course, Leona, it was, and I go into, what I did. That was the hardest 3 chapters for me to write. It was extremely hard.
That was
Uh,
that was the tissue. The box of Kleenex was right by me the whole time.
That's what I want to say. This book gives you everything. It delivers on everything you want a book to be. It is entertaining, it's drama, it's happy, it's sad. It is so filled with emotion, that is so raw and real. And it causes not for you just to be sad, but you actually cry. I remember, in just researching about her and hearing some of her stories, I told her I had to get my cry out before I interview because it's very emotional. It's very touching. I cannot stress enough, the importance of getting this book. It's historical. That's the first thing. Get it because it's part of our history, it's part of our culture, but it also delivers in every aspect that you want a book to deliver in. So for sure, you're going to need a box of tissues next to you.
Yes. And just really the whole thing of not just your sister, but your identical twin sister. You all living 3 doors down from each other. I mean, it's like you were the same. The same spirit almost. It was like, what do you mean? And so you saw one, you saw the other.
Right.
And
when you read about that day, it was so significant because it's a day in which her sister talked her into attending a presentation. She's like, no, we're going here to speak. So when she talked about speaking, it's something that she said, okay, we'll do this. So it was a big day. It was a joyous day. They had just spoken to a crowd of students, and here they are at home relaxing. And this happened. So it was a lot. I can't imagine, and she talks about the journey through grief and restoration. I mean, it's just so good, guys. Really get the book. You got to get it. You got to get it. The Speakers Magazine gives you just a snippet of it, and then go directly and get that book.
Yeah, I think it's so cool because this is of course Black History Month, and as Pam mentioned, you're living history.
Yes.
Being first twins to serve on the 36th district. What was that? How did that come about? Because how do you essentially? Only a certain percentage of lawyers go on to become judges. And that's such a unique experience. And then to sit on the district court as well. Was that a goal initially for you, and your sister, to end up both in the same place? Did y'all collaborate? Okay, we're going to pass the bar. We're going to get through this LSAT.
First of all, that's that Black girl magic, but amazing.
Well, we always talked about different things we wanted to do because we were always around each other, and we were almost our last year in undergrad, and we were becoming teachers. We were going to become speech teachers, English teachers. We had majored in the same thing because we were both good at it. And so, that was also around the civil rights time and the Black Power movement. And we're watching things on TV, and that's a strong vehicle, right? And you seeing things, and I remember looking at a show with lawyers, and one was a Black lawyer, and I told my sister, I said, I want to become a lawyer because I want to help more people. I said, we're going to help people as teachers, but I want to really help more people. I'm looking at, these folks locked up and all of this. And my sister was saying the same thing. She said, so do I. So right away, unbeknownst to us, we didn't plan it. We just sitting there talking. We decided we were going to go to law school, but we got to finish the first goal first. Okay. And then, he set another goal, which of course was law school. And being poor and broke like we were, we said once we started teaching, my sister who didn't have a car, I had a piece of car, but she didn't have a car. And the first day, once she qualified to get a loan at the Teachers Credit Union, my sister had a car the next day. Okay. So she went out and bought a brand new car. I picked mine out. I'm waiting for it to come out of the factory. Okay. So the thing is that we both knew 4 years later, cars would be paid off. And in 4 years, we said, we're going to law school. As soon as that was paid off, we went right in that summer. Okay. And we started. And so that's how things happen with us. It's not like it was a long-term plan. It's not like we thought about being a lawyer when we were kids. No, we saw what was happening around us. We saw injustice around us. We said, we can help some kind of way, but have to have the tools to help. And to us, it was going to law school. And same thing when I wanted to become a judge. We were already helping young people become known out there in the entertainment world. That's what we wanted to do. We didn't start out that way. We were medical malpractice lawyers. That's where we started. We just had one client who was a DJ that totally opened up a whole new world to us because we were bombarded with tapes because everybody said, those are the lawyers for Mojo. Get your tapes to them. We had tons and tons and tons of tapes. Then we got in Ebony. And when we got in Ebony magazine as being twin lawyers opening up their firm, we said we did entertainment law. We got tapes from all over the country, So we had garbage bags full in the mail room in our suite. And we said we come in on Saturdays just listening to tapes. And that's when Mojo said, wait, just don't jump out, let me hear what you think is good. And then came ready for the world. But that's how things happened with us, and when after doing that for 10 years and having a really nice career doing that, I decided I wanted to help more and that I could do that by being a judge. And I said, well, I don't see any Black people being appointed. I said, not even in the Black courts. I said, I'm going to change that. And my sister looked at me. She said, you really serious about this? I said, yeah. She said, well, then I'm going to be your campaign manager. I said, all right. And then we got to going. And that's how that happened. But once I got on the bench and I saw how many young people didn't even have high school degrees, they had checked out on that long ago, and now they're 20, 25. What do you have to offer to an employer? You're out here, you're starting families, you can't feed your children. What are you doing? Yeah. Then came the idea of being creative with sentencing.
Alternative sentencing.
Pardon me?
The alternative sentencing.
Yep. I said, I can make a difference here. I can make it, it's like the carrot on a stick. If I will dismiss this case, but this is what you got to do for me. I don't want the $100 for the fine. I want you to go back and get your GED. I want you to come. You're going to come back. You're going to show me you're actually going to the classes. You're going to show me the test you took. If you passed it, didn't pass it. And the bottom line is I started getting more GED certificates. I started getting, parents came in with kids with bad grades. They're hanging outside the school and they shouldn't, so they get tickets. Here we go, a deal. I said, if you could really apply yourself, what kind of grade average would you have? Right now, you got about a 1.5, and they said a 3. Some said 3.5. Some said 4. And I said, I'm going to hold you to it. The 4, I said, I ain't going to hold you to it. But I'm going to say, let's do 3.5. The bottom line is they would come in after the card marking, and I would see these grades jump up. I realized the power of a person in authority like I was, looking at them and telling them, I believe you can do it. I want you now to apply yourself. And when they walk in there and they hand me a card And that card, nothing like the first card. And I even had the people in the courtroom clap for them. They're getting applause for something they should have wanted to do, but for some reason it wasn't there. And when I got ready to dismiss the case against him, like it never happened, I had parents saying, hold up, Judge. This young man has never got grades like this ever in his life. Can we just keep this here? I said, we can keep it up to 2 years. I said, and then I have to let him go. And the kid, you would think a kid would get kind of pissed off, because his mother is telling the judge not to let him go. The kid turned around and said, see you next card market, Judge. I said, see you then. I said, keep up the good work. The bottom line was the encouragement from the bench. What I said as a judge mattered. It mattered. It could make a person feel more positive about what they could do. Sometimes people don't understand the power they have within them. Even young people don't. But if you encourage them, it can come out. They have that can do. And that's what I did. I did it through sentencing.
And I think it's a great conversation to have in Black History Month, because this concept of alternative sentencing isn't new. But I believe that people like yourself and many other judges across the country who have embraced it, I've seen that they've shown an increase in the positive secondary, third order effects of that. And so, but also this conversation around diversity on the bench and having more people of color, people from underrepresented communities who are able to empathize versus just, up, you're going to jail, up, you're paying a fine. So I definitely am encouraged to hear that. And I feel like that's a place when you and your sister looked at each other and like, hey, we're going to make change. I mean, there's a lot of different things you could do. You could have went out and picketed, you could have held up signs. And I think all of that has a place. But I think what's really amazing is that you identify early on that, hey, if I can be in a position of power and influence, then I can really enact the type of lasting systemic change that will help the community actually move forward. And I think that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I think,
and whenever she speaks, she's always speaking about that. That's like her soft spot, I guess you would say, always wanting to speak to young people, no matter where, whether it's Black law students, high school students, wherever, commencement speeches. But it's one of the things, Brian, we always talk about your message. You've got to have that message. And her key message has been like just always there, that because it was her life. When she grew up in Detroit, people were saying, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. And she was going to be like, yeah, I'll show you I can. And it's like, oh, see that billboard right there? I'm going to be the next judge. It's like, that's it.
Right. I definitely, Pam was right. She hit it right on the head. I mean, if I have faith in myself to do something, and I believe I can do it, and I don't care how many people tell me I couldn't do it. And that's what I want readers to get from this book, that I want them to dream big. I want them to go after their dreams. I want them to make the plans. And I don't care how many naysayers they have. They can do it. They don't know the strength and the power they have within them until they let it come out. Trying something that is totally difficult. When people tell you that you can't, that's when you stand courageous. That's when you stand tall and strong. When I ran for judge the very first time, and I ran against 10 incumbents and 2 challengers as well. And everybody said, it's hard enough to run against 1 incumbent. You're going against 10. Are you crazy? You're going to lose, right? And then I said, I know what's in my heart. I know what I want to do when I get on the bench. I know how I want to change things, and I know how it should be. I've been in front of enough judges to know how not to be. And the thing is, I said, he would not have put me, God wouldn't put me in this path, wouldn't put these thoughts in my head unless I could really do it. So that's all I needed. That's all I needed. And so when the next morning came and my promoter called me, he said, I speak to the judge. And my sister said, what? And it was a close tie, it was a all night long, was going back and forth. Bill Clinton, his numbers came in. I went to sleep. I was getting ready to board a plane to go to the Black Entertainment Conference for lawyers. And my sister said, Leon, get up. You won. I said, huh? And she said, you won. I said, okay. Okay. And I was throwing clothes in my briefcase. I even had my t-shirt on with my campaign t-shirt on and got on the plane with that. And I saw Greg Reed, who's an attorney. He said, did you win? I said, yes.
Amazing.
Greg Reed was an attorney for Rosa Parks too, by the way.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
So I wanna share this cover. We've been holding it up, but here it is. Speakers Magazine, beautiful, beautiful issue.
See that Renaissance Center in the background? That's where one of her offices were.
Yeah, this is the GM building, right? That's the Renaissance. That's what the Renaissance building is, right? Yep, gotcha. Okay, yeah, amazing Detroit skyline. Man, y'all, these covers are like, these are going to be like, collectibles in and of itself.
Right. Classic.
No templates over here. No Canva.
No Canva here.
No Canva.
That would never do.
Woo, Jesus, no.
But I see the let me see if I can zoom in on the rhinestone.
There you go. That's the rhinestone. Detroit style only.
Diva style for sure.
Yes. Oh, and this was the thing. I had to like grab this. I was like, what? So Black Business Matters. I was like, go on, Brian. I said, this is so cool. So it was those things. We're prepping Black-owned businesses to show up fully in the world, be competitive, and have a chance at creating real success. Guest speakers, Brian Oles, one of the Black Speakers Networks, and E.T., the hip hop preacher. He's from Detroit.
And Robert F. Smith is also going to be speaking at this. So he's a billionaire, philanthropist, inventor. Yeah, he's like the headliner, but he's the one that gave paid off everybody's tuition at Morehouse.
He sure did. I remember him. I was like, dang.
I know. Right?
Some of these other schools make his rounds.
But no, this is an awesome thing to be a part of. The Afro is 128 years old. I believe it's the oldest African American owned newspaper in the country. And right here in Baltimore, where I am. So just
actually one of our covers, Bishop Vashti McKenzie, that was her great grandfather that started that newspaper.
Oh yeah, I remember that cover.
Yep. So Black history all the way around. Yeah.
Absolutely. So so we're in here, and then we have your message. Now I really like this because you did a Black History Month's like speaker icons.
Yes.
Which is really, really cool. You want to talk us through that real quick? Yeah,
because it's so many great speakers, but the speakers, what I call Black history icons, are people that I really feel that are opening the door for other Black people, right? And they've done it. That's been what their career is about. That's what they live about. First one, obviously would be Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, but he's not living with us. So his daughter, Bernice King, Reverend Jesse Jackson, who walked with him, and Bernice King, obviously his daughter, who's just like him. And Les Brown opens the door for so many speakers. He's iconic in that. Oprah Winfrey, the Angel Network. I mean, she just opens the door for people. You hear any of her commencement speeches, she talks the same thing what Judge talks about you can dream big and do it. Dr. George Fraser, he can hold court on about Black people. We actually end with his quote. He says, this is George directly, Black people need to stop depending on white people. Wherever Black people are going in the 21st century, it will become Black people. It will be Black people that will take them there. White people will not be saving Black people. I'm sorry. It's been 400 years and our Black asses ain't saved. It's up to us. That's George Fraser, quote unquote.
That's a direct quote.
That's a direct quote that he says that all the time. Susan L. Taylor, just love her. She's doing mentoring, care mentoring, and she's just always about opening doors for Black people, and she's mentoring the next generation. Bishop T.D. Jakes, obviously, that he is Woman Thou Art Loose, and he just is always bringing the fire. Dr. Cindy Trim is par, just above the bar for everyone. Like, everybody wants to be like Dr. Cindy Trim. Opens the door for people, speaking words over them. Dr. Willie Jolly as well, and Dr. Dennis Kimbrough. Those two are speaker icons. Actually, Willie Jolly was like one of the first African Americans to be president of the National Speakers Association. And Dr. Kenneth Kimbrough, he wrote the book Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. If you have not read that book, get that book. And all of them have books. Every one of them have books. So get all of their books there, so you can kind of.
We read Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. That was part of the initial book club at Morgan State University.
Really?
That was like a precursor for Toastmasters. So yeah, we read that.
I love that book. That is a classic. It really is. It was a classic. Dr. Portia Lockett, Delta girl there, and she has just been blowing up and doing so many great things. Her speaker reel is actually right there. Like, when you hover over that, that is her actual speaker reel. So a lot of people, she's a great speaker reel. People ask me, what is a speaker reel? I don't have a lot of speeches that were taped or whatever. You can actually see how this speaker reel is done, and see how you can do it by telling your brand story in that speaker reel. And it's done very well. So
very cool. Very good. Very good. Yeah, she's amazing. I love
Chef Couture and Audrey. Audrey actually met at George Fraser's event, and she has a magazine called Virtue, but she is an educator, a children's teacher, and she writes books. And so she wanted to be in this Black History issue because she's so emphatic about our youth, our Black youth, and really having Black books for them to read. So Audrey is in there as well. Muhammad and Chef Couture. Yeah, she does a video there as well. She's got a whole cooking channel,
Oh, wow.
But she speaks. So, it was interesting. I was on Clubhouse the other day, and I heard a chef on Clubhouse describing their food. It made me want to go and just go to their YouTube channel and get their recipe, because the way they were describing it was just amazing.
Right now, these like, between TikTok and all these other like food, like, people are like, especially if you deliver food right now, you're winning like a chef.
That's it. And this one is the People's Judge. So the artwork there is actually the billboard. If she's looking up there, that was actually the billboard that ran as well on there. And then the cover of the book of her and her twin sister. All rise for the Twins of Justice. And the Twins of Justice, the name is your scholarship. The Twins for Justice. It's a scholarship that endowed at the Wayne State Law School.
Correct.
Amazing. This is a beautiful cover story.
Yeah. Still doing good work. And that is Letitia Nicole. Oh my goodness, she is amazing. To talk about trying to get these bios down and the story about them, and she does so many things. But one of the things she does is, like, she has this tea called Immunity Tea. She had COVID earlier in the year, and the tea really helped curb her symptoms, and so now she's selling it, and that's like really a small part of it as well. But she is amazing. When you see her speaker reel, if you kind of hover over there, it's really good. Yeah, you gotta do that. And Allison Vaughn has a TV show, so this was her kind of debut. You kind of see the Allison Vaughn show. It's on the Daily Gospel Show, so that was really good. She had a lot of major press from being in this issue as well, but starting with she was in Black Enterprise, NBC, all these different stations and things like that. So if you Google Allison Vaughn, you see all the press that she's gotten just recently from being in this issue.
They look like they could be related.
Yeah, they have that glamour girl look,
definitely that. Yeah.
Professional photos. We talk about that in Ready, Set, Go, Speak all the time. Professional photos. You got to just stay ready with those photos. This lady here, Maria, oh my God, her story is amazing. She grew up in foster care. She's a dancer, speaker. She's just, creativity in her thumb is just amazing. Just dancer, speaker, singer, just amazing. And so you want to read that. Dr. Jonas is a repeat. He's been in here before. He had good success, so he came back again. So you could be in there more than once, and the speaker reel is there as well. Dr. Jonas, BSN in the building. Yes. And B. Jesse Smith, his video is there as well. He is a lot of times people who are ministers or preachers, they're kind of like trying to make that bridge. So Speaker is a good magazine for people to kind of see them in a different light. And that's really what it is for V. Jesse Smith. It shows his leadership skills and talks about him in that way. So that even though he's a preacher, a minister, they see him in a different light. Mm-hmm. And then
cool.
they get out there, ready, set, go. I really teach people how to really position themselves and brand themselves as a speaker. So that's my program where I show people how to really do that. And then I introduce them to media contacts as well.
Yeah, and this is an amazing program. I just want to say, like, I've just been seeing the feedback from the folks in the Ready, Set, Go cohort so far, Pam, and it's just been amazing. I think a lot of times, people, most people can't afford a publicist, or even if they can't afford, they don't want to pay for a publicist.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like, hey, you're getting somebody, you have, multiple decades of experience. So and I like this program because it's like a 360-degree experience. So it's from the photos to what you're writing, your brand.
Because my main thing is, like, if you can't afford a publicist and you have to do it yourself, don't make it look like you did it yourself. Okay. We want to make sure that you represent us as a Black speaker, that you show up and shine properly. So I'm like your PR angel. It's like, I'm going to help you, but these are the things that you need to do, starting with maybe the website or whatever we got to do. It's like, let's get that together. And then this one here is one of the Ready, Set, Go speakers. Rodney C. Burris is one of the speakers for this event. So he got this, and I guess that's going on now, like through the 12th.
It just wrapped up yesterday, I think. But we had, BSN. I think we had it was a crazy number, like definitely over 10 speakers there. But this is phenomenal. I would love to kind of be a part of this next year, maybe. But they were doing an awesome job. I started hearing about this really, really early on, and we had Rodney. I know it's in the BSN network. Gabby, she's just getting big.
She's only like 16. And she's like 16. I don't even think
she's still young, but I mean, she started when she was like 12.
Yeah, she's an amazing entrepreneur, amazing. And I think the video on the back of there probably is the video of Don't Rush Challenge. I always put that in I always embed that somewhere. The Don't Rush Challenge of me, you, Sherwood, and Dr. Will.
I love it. Well, great issue. So y'all can check it out. The speakersmagazine.net. Speakersmagazine.net is the place to go online. Pam has physical issues in her hand. And the cool part about this is that every month we have an opportunity to be featured. And so I'll drop the link for that as well. So if you're like, hey, I want to be in next month's issue, then we're pushing up for March, but certainly every single month there's opportunity to be featured. So I love it. And
this is one of those issues that I really, really so honored to have your honor on the cover. And it's really, really good. And you just set the tone for the rest of it in terms of people, because even like Simon Bailey, he has the same message as well, that really wants to help and inspire people to dream big and do more. So, and Brian, you're doing it too as well when you're speaking. So I just want people to speak with purpose, speak with a reason to not just run off at the mouth, but to really make change. If you're going to speak, everybody wants to speak, but speak so that you are making an impact, on people's lives.
Absolutely. And I mean, and we need these platforms to be able to do it. And that's why I think, speak up, your audience awaits. I feel like we all have an audience that we're called to serve. Cier, you're writing. Pam, you're publishing. Judge, you're judging. So regardless of whatever lane that you pick, we have these mechanisms to be able to do this. But before we let you go, Judge Lloyd, I definitely want to give you an opportunity to share just anything that's on your mind or your heart for this month during this time. Obviously, we're in a crazy place as a society. There's a lot going on. You've lived an extraordinary life. You continue to make such a big impact. But any closing thoughts that you want to share for the folks at Black Speakers Network or just folks that are watching, the floor is yours.
First of all, I want to thank Black Speakers Network for having me on. This has been very, very interesting for me and exciting for me. For those who are listening and watching, and I hope you get the book because I want you to be the best person you can be. It's like Pam pointed out, because there's so much. As a drug court judge, I watch people's lives totally change and transform. And when you see transformation after transformation after transformation, you have to know that there is a God and a plan for you out there. But the bottom line is that you got to try. You got to try and you can't quit. And I don't care how hard it gets. You can't quit. You may slow down, but you can't quit. And that's the main thing. That is the main thing. And that's what we'll get from that book if you read that book. And that means get going. Get going. It's never too late. Never.
All right, I absolutely love that. So, listen, it's an honor to have you. No pun intended, but it would make a great pun.
Can someone do a screenshot? I'm on my Mac, and I always get a little confused of how we could do a screenshot. Can you do it, Brian? Cier?
I can.
Okay.
I can do one. Let me get us set up. All right, cool. And 3,
Wait.
2. Okay. Yep.
There we go.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
Thank you. Because I put this in the March issue, so we're working on that now. So this will be in the March. This picture. Thank you, and thank you everybody for watching and tuning in. The Cast Tech group, I put it over there, Judge. So over in the class of '78, they were over there cheering you on over there in the Cast Tech group. Angel, she was over there too. So I saw her just saying, "Yay, there's Judge." So yeah.
Well, I want to let everyone. I want to let everyone know. First of all, again, thank you, Pam and Mark, Cier. This is every single month is a quality issue. For folks that are interested, it'd be like, people are sending me messages now, like, I want to be in the next issue. Make sure you go over to speakersmagazine.net/advertorial. And that will have all the information that you need in order to get onto the next issue. And it'd be great to have you. So the deadlines are, we need everything in by the 20th of each month. So, if you miss that, then you would be slated for the following month. So good stuff. Pam, any final thoughts?
Happy Valentine's Day, Brian.
Thank you.
Same to everybody.
I'm accepting candy, flowers.
Cash apps.
Right, Cash App.
That is an excellent idea. Yeah, I didn't even consider that. Judge Lloyd.
That's what my daughter told me. I said, Aubrey, what do you want for Valentine's Day? She said, just cash at me. I'm like, you know what? Really?
That is exactly a young thing. That is the thing. Everybody said, just cash app.
Oh my goodness. It takes all the fun out of it. See, Judge
They're
wore
not
red.
sentimental at all. Right.
I'll take a Nestle Crunch. Like, I don't really like.
You don't even need a whole box, right? Just a little bar, maybe.
Yeah.
So this Valentine's Day is different than last Valentine's Day. Last Valentine's Day was kind of like pre-COVID, so we could go out to dinner. This year it's just like delivered. Right.
Dr. Dash sent me some Kit Kats from Japan, so I can eat those.
Oh my God.
Well, limited edition. Well, this is awesome. So I will go ahead and close this out. This has been amazing. Obviously, Black Speakers Network is in the building. You all feel free to continue to share. Make sure you let folks know. If you know other people that are in this issue, tag it, share it out. And also, we're looking forward to seeing you in future issues. And so, Judge Lloyd, again, continue to do amazing work. Thank you for all that you have done and continue to do. And we will see you all this time next month. But yes, enjoy the rest of Black History Month. Happy Valentine's Day, and we'll see you next time.
Take care. Bye-bye.